Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. I really appreciate you joining me today, and these stories come from South London. The first subject I want to talk about is an article that I've seen today in my London newspaper. A South London school has told children to not visit the local town centre or the McDonald's due to fears that they may be stabbed to death. So this is the way that schools are dealing with an unprecedented amount of teenagers being murdered in the street. They are telling kids to not go and get anything to eat after school. They're saying don't go to a fast food restaurant. That is the way they're combating this. And to be honest, this sounds like a joke. Children at the school where murdered Tamin Hakimana was a pupil have previously already been told to not go to the town centre after school. Tamim was stabbed to death on Monday outside Woolwich Arsenal Station after being set upon by a group of youths. Harris Academy Greenwich has now reiterated the advice to say that they should avoid the town centre as a potential flashpoint for trouble. So by that, they're insinuating like children are killing each other over hamburgers. This is not the case. What do you mean? If you're aware that children are maybe get killed at the local McDonald's, then surely shouldn't we be doing something to ensure that doesn't happen? This is something that can be resolved. You could put more security in place. Obviously do something. It's public town centre. Let's not ignore the fact that there is obviously a problem with children and gang violence in schools. Why are 15-year-olds wanting to kill each other? Where's that come from? They must be using the rhetoric that they're being shown on the street themselves. In a statement by the Academy Principal George Macmillan and Principal Ben Healy, they said, "We are shocked and devastated at the senseless loss of a child's life. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family and everything we can do to support them at this time." They are also supporting students as well, and they held a special assembly to mark the child's life and ensure that students were aware that they could come and speak to members of staff about their shock and grief. "We asked the parents to reinforce the message that children should go straight home after school each day because we're afraid they might try and kill each other in McDonald's," is the message that we're being told. Tamin aspired to be a lawyer. He died in the scene on Woolwich New Road despite the efforts of paramedics on Monday night. A 15-year-old boy has been arrested on suspicion of murder at the time, and police are continuing to question him for information. And again, like this just seems to happen every single day. People recorded it on social media. In relation to what the government are trying to do to prevent this, City Hall says they've pledged £1.8 million to a rescue and response service. They are aiming to seek out children who they think are at risk of becoming involved in gangs and taking them to some sort of centre for intervention. I believe they did this in Liverpool as well during the peak of young children involved in gang culture. And in the latest update to the story of Tamin, several school children have been charged with his murder. And this is what I really want to highlight right now. So I'm going to read out the details of the charges and then we're going to speak about what this actually means. Daryl Bethnal, 19 years old from Kent, has been charged with the murder of Tamin. He has also been charged with attempted murder of another 15-year-old kid and possession of an offensive weapon as well. 3 other teenagers, 15 years old, 14 years old and 15 years old, have also been charged with murder, attempted murder and possession of an offensive weapon. A 17-year-old boy has also been charged with murder and attempted murder. So these are school kids. These kids probably went to his own school. So what on earth are school kids doing with weapons in school time? This is something you have to really ask yourself. When you send your children to school, are you expecting them to get an education in the streets, or are you expecting them to get an education from school? So these kids have gone to school and ended up catching murder charges. So I'm not sure when we actually start to admit that something is seriously wrong in our schools. So my condolences to the family of Tamin, and that is 5 teenagers, families who are potentially never going to see him again. In relation to another murder of another 16-year-old in South London again, Lambeth, I covered this story the other day of Keane Flynn-Harling. A 36-year-old man has been charged with murdering him. Siddiqui Williams from southwest London has been charged on the 14th of July with the murder of Keane, who was found with fatal stab wounds in Oval Place, SW9 at 23:45 on the 5th of July. 36 years old. I just want that to really sink in. This man is approaching 40 and he's out on the street stabbing 16-year-old kids. I'm starting to wonder how lost people really are out here. What chance do the kids stand if adults are out here conducting themselves like this. So my condolences to the family of Keane, and I'll definitely keep you updated on that story. And sadly, for the third time in this video, I will have to say another 16-year-old. In relation to the murder that took place on Fulton Heath of the 16-year-old who has been named as Damari Roy, and a man has been charged with his murder too. Byron Wine, 19 years old, from Croydon, is alleged to have stabbed Damari at around 3 o'clock on Friday 9th of July. So this is around school time again. It was established the 16-year-old took himself to hospital and was stabbed earlier on Bensham Manor Road, near the junction of Swain Road in Fulton Heath. Damari sadly died in hospital on the 11th of July, and a post-mortem examination was carried out on Wednesday the 14th of July at Croydon Mortuary and found the cause of death to have been a stab wound. A 22-year-old was also arrested on suspicion of intent to supply Class A drugs, and he was later further arrested on suspicion of murder and has since been released pending investigation. So it's 3 lives just snatched away like that. Their life hasn't even started. And sadly, it seems like people just get on with their day. The one thing that I see with all of these children is that they are young and they are still in the care of the school system. And I feel like something along the lines has gone wrong for kids to be thinking that this is acceptable behaviour, and for kids to be getting murdered on their way home from school. And I don't think banning somebody from going to McDonald's is going to sort that out. So I really appreciate you joining me today. My condolences to all the families that are currently mourning their children. And I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and follow us online as well at scarcitystudios.com. Peace.